I'm not going to lie, I haven't been engaged in a lot of Amber Heard news these past couple of months. I'm not really interested in the defamation or the court details. I'm more interested in the aftermath of it. But recently, an article came up to me yesterday about Amber Heard's assistant basically calling her out and saying that she would throw fits of rage and that she was a very unpleasant person to be around. Now, it's no secret that Amber Heard is not very good with people, specifically actors or actresses who she's affiliated with in movies, or perhaps she's dated them back then. But this is coming from her assistant, and that says a lot, especially for someone who she's hired and who she's trusted. Here's the article from Daily Mail with the title, Amber Heard's former assistant reveals actress once spat in her face when she asked for a raise and would fly into a blind rage. Never saw bruises or cuts on her in the 3 years she was employed. Amber Heard's former personal assistant claimed she would fly into a blind rage and said she never saw cuts or bruises on the actress during testimony in Johnny Depp's $100 million defamation case. Appearing via a pre-taped video deposition Thursday, Kate James told the court she was hired by Heard in 2012 as her personal assistant and worked with her until 2015. Here's a picture of her during her testimony of Johnny Depp's defamation. She told how one of her jobs was to get 2 copies of magazines that Heard appeared in and store them in the garage because she didn't want Depp to see them. One time Heard got very angry because they were lying around. James said she went absolutely ballistic, screaming, yelling, abuse. It was a blind rage. James recalled how Heard would scream over the phone at her and subjected her to barrages of abuse, text messages, day and night. She said, the middle of the night, I think, between 2 and 4 a.m., the barrage would start. All incoherent, not making sense, just someone to lash out at, no apparent reason to it. Asked if she ever saw any injuries, cuts, bruises, swelling, or redness to Heard's face, James said no. She said that she never saw Heard with black eyes or clumps of hair torn out of her head. When James was switching from part to full-time work, she was negotiating her salary with Heard, who lost her cool. Oh yeah, I'm sure we are all very familiar with the cuts and the bruises that Amber Heard has received from Johnny Depp. I mean, just look at this image. Her entire eye looks disgusting. Nothing, not even makeup, can replicate something like this. Nope. Definitely not. Anyways, James said she leaped out of my chair, put her face 4 inches from my face, telling me how dare I ask the salary I was asking for. She felt I gave her the right to spit in my face, adding that the $50,000 she asked for was half her usual salary. Now, if you thought all of that was interesting, wait until you hear this next part. James claimed that Heard told her she had taken mushrooms, ecstasy, and cocaine, and that it left her disorientated and made her drink heavily and go out with her friends. When Heard was intoxicated, she became more and more belligerent and abusive, James said. She claimed that Heard's insecurities about her relationship were because she didn't like to be away from Johnny's physical presence. James said that Heard didn't like the crowd that Depp hung out with either. She said she told me she didn't like hanging out in his house with his friends because it was boring and they were all old men playing guitars and it wasn't interesting to her. Well then, I guess we now know where Amber Crackhead is getting all of that rage from. James claimed that Heard went straight to the Chateau Marmont Hotel to meet up with friends. She described the atmosphere was a little conspiratorial, adding that it was like a strategy meeting combined with a pool party. James waited there with her son and eventually went home. Asked about the episode by Heard's lawyer Benjamin Roddenberry, James said she wasn't concerned for Heard's well-being because it had become a pattern with her. I was merely placating her. She said they proceeded to hang out all day drinking while I sat around waiting with my son. We had to wait all day while they hung around drinking by the pool. Finally, I went home. She went back to her apartment. Then Heard wanted her to pack her bags at 10 p.m. on Sunday night. I said I couldn't go and pack her bag. I had to put my son to bed. She was very angry. It was standard procedure at this point. She was a very dramatic person. If there was ever a competition for the most dramatic, hyperbolic, pretentious person in the world, I'd say Tana Mongeau will take first place, but Amber Heard will come in very close, because I'm sure we've all heard of her strange definitions of words.
But I did not punch you. I did not deck you. I was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
Well, that's about all I have to say about this. It's really no surprise to me because we all know how she acts towards others and how others think about her because it's everywhere. But we can only hope that more stories like this can appear in the future. Anyways, have a good day.